Hello Ji, Jai Gurudev, Sat Sri Akal Ji. My name is Jazz Saikon. Welcome to your Saheli chat show. आज ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ। ਟੌਪਿਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਗੌਸਿਪ, ਕਹਿ ਦੋ ਚੁਗਲੀ, ਨਿੰਦਿਆ। ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਤੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ two lovely guests as always, Gurdial Gacha and Devinda Ubi. Hello Ji.
Hello Sat Sri Akal Ji.
So, ਟੌਪਿਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਚੁਗਲੀ, ਗੌਸਿਪ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਚੁਗਲੀ ਦੱਸਣੀ ਸੀ ਪਰ ਚੋਰੀ
This is it. ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, we find ourselves doing this. ਪਰ ਕਿਤੇ ਗਾਣਾ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀ. This is what we do.
Keep it in the four walls.
Yes. Exactly. And we, you know, we've all done it at some stage. But ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਆਪਣੀ ਵਾਈਬ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ?
Obviously very low. Because ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਿ we need to be taking up pressure and tension off. ਪਰ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ. But it also depends what's in the contents of the chugli as well.
Yeah, ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਪੂਰਾ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਦੋ ਹੋਰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਗਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਗਾਂ ਵਾਲਾ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਦੋ ਹੋਰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ is never the same, is it? When it goes from one mouth to another and it can wreck lives, it can wreck relationships.
ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਈ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਹੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮਤਲਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਦਨਾਮੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਗਲਤ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਸਹੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣਾ ਮਸਾਲਾ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਗਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ
ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਐਂਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਦੇਖੋ ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਈਬ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਲੋ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇਨਸਿਕਿਉਰ ਫੀਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ
those people usually have a very dull life, boring life, that they feel incomplete and they don't have any interest or adventures in their life, so they usually prey on people who are doing better than them. So they'll want something to look for something going wrong in their lives, or even not going wrong, they interpret it going wrong. And usually say that 60% of our conversation between adults are usually to do with the person not involved in that conversation. Or chugli hundi, or that person you're talking about, they're not actually there in that conversation.
Absolutely, I love that because I always say, we always have this conversation. I say, you know, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਪੈਟ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਮੂੰਹ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਕਰਨ ਜੋਗੇ ਹੋਵੋ ਹਨਾ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਰੱਖੋ ਉਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ because sometimes you do get confronted and a lot of ਆਪਣੀ especially ladies ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਹੁਣ ਮੁੱਕਰ ਜਾਓ I always say ਮਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੁੱਕਰੇ ਦਾ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਪਾਓ ਮਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੁੱਕਰੇ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਫਰਕ ਆ you know ਜੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਆ at least have the guts to stand up and then ਕਹੋ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ but I know you can never resolve this kind of thing, right? And ਚੁਗਲੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਮਨਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ
ਪਰ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਵੀ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਹਤੇ ਆ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਹਨਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਫਾਇਦੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਫਾਇਦੇ ਲਈ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨਿਆਣਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਮੌਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਜਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ
ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ੇਅਰਿੰਗ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ
ਪਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵਿਚਾਰੀ ਦੇ 5 ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਹੁਣ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੋ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਗਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਦੇਣੀ ਆ ਸੋ ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ
ਟਵਿਸਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ it comes from our own what is it programs and systems we have in each other belief we have so like ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ you will interpret it different ways
yes we have our own
belief systems don't we so everybody's got their own way of understanding one little conversation why might see as something being judgmental why might see a praise ਗੱਲ ਉਹੀ ਕੀ ਆ but I think usually I find that people who chugli karte they're just seeking for attention you know and as if like if they provide more juicy gossip hoina jabardast gossip hoina they get attention and people they feel popular they feel important they feel important
I get that because I've come across people like that who will ask you questions and then the next day they're meeting somebody but they don't tell you that they're having this meet up and all they do is really just share the information that you've shared with them and I think is there nothing going on in their lives at all for them to actually hang on to that much information that isn't really serving them because you're not even in the present moment when you're doing that na hi tusi us bande de na present moment ja na hi tusi gaan ja ke present moment ja and then when you're doing the gal you're not present either because oh gal ta tusi ban ke rakhiyo agli and you know ekdam vi hai some people jehdi gal kehni a ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ and I like people like that and you know where you stand ਕਈ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹਨਾ ਦਿਲ 'ਚ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਆ that's very hard as well because ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਬਦਲਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਉਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ how hard is that for them
I think it all depends on each individual ਪਰ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਹੁਣ if I'm your friend ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ but that upsets the relationship between all of us ਪਰ ਦੂਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ signs ਹੈਗੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ so there's all those signs that you can pick up the vibes or the vibration so ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ we have to be really careful ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ you can ruin somebody's life you know especially ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਗਲਤ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ you know about that person they could be completely innocent in a situation ਹੁਣ if you imagine a group of people ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ join ਕਰਾਂ ਆ group ਨੂੰ but everybody's really tight it's very difficult to get into that group because everybody's like really good mates and things like that but I think gossip's necessary, you know, we all love a bit of gossip.
We do.
And why not, you know, as long as it's not hurting anybody.
And avoid going into judgment. Girls on liya. My thing is, girls on liya, don't go into judgment. Jitte suniya, ek kan suni duje kan kar do. If you have to hear it. And just don't repeat it unless you know it's absolutely true because jira karn wala hunda sometimes they don't know do they
I mean one thing I always remember is that if I say to you oh guess what so and so said about you but there's this thing well why did that person tell me something about you because that makes me part of that problem does that make sense because that person felt comfortable talking to me about you so that's wrong
and if that was to happen God forbid it doesn't but if it was to happen I'm sure both of you would just come to me
or we would say look you know what I'm sorry she's my friend don't talk to me about it if you want to talk to somebody else but I'm not that
it's
kind of
how
person
you receive it as well isn't it
and that's important
because jere gossip karn wale you know they attract that sort of audience or they go for those sort of people and you know one of the vibrations that agge hundi hai idan di and they're waffling usually and they're kind of holding information like I said they're just trying to be a bit popular and trying to get a bit of respect by sharing what they think is going to work for them but it's not going to work
I know if somebody's telling me something about someone and they're telling me that I'm telling this in strict privacy and you know please don't share with anyone the moment they say that to me then I've lost trust in them because I know if you're sharing with me you can easily be sharing with everybody else if you're confiding in me think it's just me I'm the only one I know that's not true so you just learn from this sort of behavior from other people and as just people I just know if you can tell somebody's they're on a low vibe they're very sort of like in a place of judgmental those people tend to be the gossipers you know.
And the other thing is if you're quite happy to talk about somebody else in a negative way or planning ਨਾਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹਾਏ ਤੈਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਆ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ there's every chance that could happen to you down the line maybe not in my generation but maybe to my children so when we are saying oh planning ਦੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਘਰੋਂ ਨੱਠ ਗਈ ਜਾਂ oh you know that person had an abortion over there or this happened who knows what's going to happen to us tomorrow and you have to always be conscious that's what I always think I mean my nanny used to say ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੰਜਾ ਹੇਠਾਂ ਸੋਟਾ ਫੇਰੋ you know that's like an old Indian expression because what goes round comes round we don't know
and karmically another thing I believe that if you are sitting in those jugli karding is saying something very negative about that person and they've probably got bad karma anyway you do not realize that you actually take up their karma on your head so you got your own karma then you take theirs so why do you want to go to a place of gossip right you think in the moment you're probably just doing it to get attention and being popular around a group of people or family but at the same time you don't realize you're taking their bad karma on your own head so nuksan apna hi hunda
ਹਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸੀਗਾ I read somewhere and they said ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ one of our gurus because they were just getting praise they wanted somebody to gossip about them they actually paid somebody because ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਕੋਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਣਜਾਣੇ में कोई sin ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ they get washed away ਜੋ ਕੋਈ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰਦਾ they say ਜੋ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਾਪ ਧੋਂਦਾ
that's right
which is good for you so ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ pure clear you got nothing to worry about ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਭਾੜਿਆ you know when you were saying ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ they usually like kind of big people so ਚੁਗਲੀ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਭਾੜਿਆ
that's right ਜਿਹਨੇ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰੀ ਜੋ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਮਾ ਹੋਈ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਤਾਂ people before you know you're quite obese
and then you have to release these ਗੱਲਾਂ to kind of go back down.
I know.
But there is a thing, you know, because men will say, oh, buriyan to reh nahi hunda, inna to gal reh nahi hundi, but but there is a weight, you know, when someone tells you something, you do feel like, you know, I need to share it with somebody, because it is difficult to hold on to, and gossip is still important, because that's where we learn how to work within a group of people, within our families, what's acceptable, what isn't. So we shouldn't totally think that, oh, it's a bad thing, because, you know, it's where we feel like we're part of a group. So there are lots and lots of positives to it.
And I suppose anybody, you know, who's a celebrity or somebody who's kind of high up there, you know, high end sort of professional, only it's a big price for them to pay sometimes, because normal people, okay, do char jane galla karke chup kar chuke, but when you've got something like, you know, you could lose over gossip, that's where it's scary, because it tarnishes your name, it tarnishes your reputation, your family. Everybody has to pay a consequence. On celebrity but they're normal people, but one of the galti is highlighted more.
But again, you know, if they've chosen to do that, you know, like the politicians and things like that, they've got to be held accountable, because otherwise, you know, we're looking at them for guidance, you know, and they're the people that we're running the country and things like that.
Reality shows don't help. These gossip magazines, they actually, you know, get people to gossip. You more think it's normal, it's natural to do, but not realizing the detrimental effect it has on our body
and our mental health.
Absolutely. And in workplaces, you know, they are big for gossip, aren't they? And so can places be of community, where people get together and go gala, and you know, it spreads like wildfire.
The funny one is the one they usually say that is faster than the internet is the langar hole, the kitchen of the ladies.
Where they in the morning they go to do their seva.
Well, anytime if you want, it's faster than the internet. If you want information, go there in the kitchen.
And do you think it's more ladies that gossip, or do you think men gossip as well? What's your input?
I think men do, but nowhere near as much as what women do, because they're just not as social as women are.
That's right.
So I think, but what I'm thinking, I mean, I'm just thinking about gossiping and stuff like that. I just think, you know, it's okay depending on the environment. So we've just got to be careful about where we're doing it and who we're doing it about. And like you said, if somebody does come and say, well, why did you say that about me? Be brave and be courageous and say, well, I said it for this reason. So,
and you know, there are some people who are like kind of really well respected, and people are quite scared of them. Just treat everybody like that, and then you won't be doing this, right? Because it's not good for the person that's doing it. Like we said, kinni negativity.
That's right. I mean, I can show you. Should you want to do a demo?
Do that demo.
Right.
That would be good.
The demo I'm going to do, it just shows you how our thoughts impact our physiology. So negative thought will weaken our physiology, it will weaken our strength and our immune system. So if can I do it with you? Good, Diaji? So if you want to do, just test the muscle in your arm here. We call it the indicator muscle. So if you just keep it tight like that. So if you shut your eyes now, when I think of a very positive story or information about a person, can you think of it? So manna jolanya. Look, that means how strong that positive thought is having on our body. So now if you open your eyes, now I want to think of a very negative or upsetting story about somebody, okay? Right, ready? Look.
Wow.
See that?
Yeah.
The body's weakened, the muscles weaken. This is what our thoughts do. Sadi soch sade ekdam instantly sade body ne weak kar sakde a, strong kar sakde a. So if ninda chugli karte hain na, straight away sadi sanu nuksan hunda. Jedi chugli karte onu kuch nahi hunda, sanu nuksan hunda hai. So this is why we have to be so careful that every thought straight away sanu impact kar de. We might be talking negative about the other person, we want something happen to their reputation, but onu kuch hoga, but eventually, but not to the extreme that sada nuksan hunda straight away.
Thank you for that, absolutely. And you know, apne always bachavo, you've got to save your vibe, your energy, because you know, je koi kisi di gal thwadi ko karda, o kalu thwadi gal kisi hor ko bhi karuga. So it's okay, just I really don't want to get involved in anything like this. Jam main dunya gala son, you know, main hakdar nahi hegi. And theek hai, and they shouldn't do it if you don't want to do it, because hon kei sianiya bibiyan at the Gurdwara, they're so nice and so peaceful, o kade kisi di gal ch nahi aundiyan. I admire them.
I know somebody who goes regularly to the Gurdwara, and she loves gossiping about everything. But you know, it's not good to go to the Gurdwara. You know, my mum used to go to the Gurdwara, and first time she came home, she goes, oh, idda hoy plan. I said, Mom, je tusi jana Gurdwara, tusi utte thoda ke ja apne man nu shanti liyauni hai, ta jaida hai. Je ta tusi lokan da kooda chak ke ghar nu liyana hai, that's not good for you or for anybody else.
No,
and you know, from that day onwards, she never came and told me, because I wasn't interested. Talking about people who I don't know. If I was bored and didn't have anything to do, I'll probably maybe if I was that kind of person. But I wasn't. I didn't want to know about other people's misfortunes.
Truly, if you look at those people who are happy and content, and they have a very fulfilling life, they have so many adventures, they have so many interests, you know, you find those people don't engage in gossips. They haven't got the time, or they just find it such a mundane task, and it depletes their energy.
Exactly.
So you know people who are gossipers, they have such a boring, dull life. So for them, I usually say to them, find something interesting to do. Start a new hobby, start a new course, and you find those people tend to gossip less.
Brilliant. Thank you. And now we're going to move on to, enough of the juggling. Now we're going to move on to, because it's mental health awareness week. It shouldn't be just this week. It should be all the time, Hannah. Apni mental health is big. I mean, at the moment, you know, people find like bills dropping, they get anxious with that, and you the mental health bill is not in a good, you know, somebody's not in a good place. It's harder, isn't it, for them to kind of get rid of that anxiety or not to feel any anxiety. And you know, so my thing is on this, je bill on there, Alando, asi kam karte hain, sare de naal hi kanle thodiyan, you know, do you get anxious or worried about bills or energy prices hiking, petrol prices hiking, cost of living high? I mean, some people, they really scaremonger. They think, oh my God, I can't eat a meal tonight. And you think you're working in the halat, not judging, but ਇੰਨੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ
I think we're in England from a mindset.
It's that mindset. They're coming from fear. They get so scared.
Feeling in the lack and the feeling not enough, then those are the ones that tend to stress out more and feel the anxiety more. But somebody who probably has the same amount of money as a person stressing out, they're probably just feeling like, I always manage. Things always seem to work out. It's like you said, it comes from the
And some
mindset.
people get kind of really anxious and their mental health isn't in a good place when they can't say no. You know, when we're all spreading ourselves so thin, I've done it, we've all done it to an extent. Do you find it quite easy, ladies, to say no? I can't do this.
Now I can, but I couldn't before.
I've got to that stage now. It takes a while, but तुसी भी अपना ख्याल रखियो सारे जने, because sometimes जे अपने को कुछ नहीं कर हुंदा, कोई task नहीं take on कर हुंदा, it's okay to say no. And you can only go to so many functions and events. It's okay to say no, I can't. And put yourself first, because our body.
Right? Because you're not used to it, and you don't like that because you think that the other person will get upset and I don't get problem ho jane, clash ho jana, ho jana. But the more tusi kari jao na, you start to feel empowered. You start to feel good about yourself, and you actually start feeling strong. And you start enjoying saying no, but not just to you know, to insult anyone. You just do it because you value yourself.
You value you, and you spend that time just with you, or you do something for yourself rather than running here, there and everywhere. I remember when our kids were younger, you know, we'd have like, say, 3 programs one weekend. We couldn't say no to anybody because we felt everybody's program was important. So we tried to go to all 3. Then you've got to go to work on the Monday morning. Look how depleted and exhausted you are. So whereas if you, like, nyane ajkal are a bit different. You know, lives have changed, they've evolved, and I think the youngsters, young married couples with young families are different. They put their babies first and think, no, kids have got to go to sleep that time. You know, we're not going to do that. It's a boundary they've put and to protect themselves and their family.
नाले जे तुसी जाना ही program ते तो थानू लगदा भी जरूरी आ. It's definitely you have to go make an appearance. थोड़े के चले जाया वो. You don't have to spend all evening or all day. है ना, थोड़े के जे हाजिरी लाके, you know, come home, and that way तुसी ओना नु भी खुश कर देता.
It's a bit of common sense, isn't it?
Yeah, common sense, but also compromising. कि अगले नु दुख भी ना लगे भी हाँ भी मैं ओना दे effort ते program ते रोजे जाते हैं तां जो मेरा program होता वो आंदे नहीं. So there's a bit of a balance.
There has to be, and there's nothing wrong with saying no because it's putting yourself first. And we're talking about mental, you know, health awareness week. Your mental health matters. You matter.
But have you noticed when you have gone to a function, when you gone dilo kusho, okay, you come back, you're not feeling tired.
No.
You actually feel more energized. You're up on a high, buzzing, So when you know if you come back and you're feeling depleted, you know you've just gone against your own wishes.
Yes. So
you can tell from your body sensation when you've gone.
even when you're getting ready, you don't want to get ready. You don't want to get your clothes
You're already feeling tired, you're feeling achy and sir dukha, whatever.
So it's just all the stress building up, isn't it?
It's these symptoms, isn't it, that can play havoc with your health, because it's just
symptoms are
picking these up.
indicators. They're telling us when we're going against our soul path, you know.
And it's like, you know, our body is whispering to us, right? But we don't often listen to those little whispers, and then it's going to scream at you. And then it's going to shut down, and then you're going to have to do something. So So we're just kind of wanting to just share these tips with our viewers. So hopefully it make a difference to people. Loneliness. We're going to touch on, aren't we?
I mean, loneliness is, I think we all feel lonely at times, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
You know, we should all have time when we're alone, and we should be comfortable being alone. The people who are around us, they're not always going to be around us. And I think sometimes, ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ attach ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਆ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੇ ਰੋਜ਼ ਹੀ, they're always going to be near us. ਵੀ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਣਾ, we find it so hard. ਜਾਂ, you know, our partner passes away, or anything can happen.
Or children go to
There's
uni.
always going to be change. The GSE or ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ we don't embrace them and realize, ਹਨਾ ਕੱਲੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਕੱਲੇ ਜਾਣਾ, that kind of thing, then we find it difficult. So it's important to ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ ਰੱਖਣਾ, to do something that makes you happy, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਪਾਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਵੀ ਵੀਕਐਂਡ ਤੇ ਗਏ ਆ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਂ whatever, do something that makes you happy.
I actually like my peace and quiet, and honestly I look forward to it, like when you can just sit with yourself and just connect with
but a lot of people hate.
A lot of people don't like it. They get anxious. They say we need to phone somebody up, or we pick up our phone, or we want to go and see somebody.
And that's really strange, because you know, you're always going to be with yourself, and you have to learn to, you know, maybe do some meditation, or you know, exercise, or meet your friends.
I think the ones who actually fear of being alone is the ones who are disconnected from their true selves, and the ones that have forgotten who they are at their true essence. Those are the ones who fear of being alone, because we still in our human bodies, you know, have spiritual being having a human experience. So the part of us that's the human part is living in fear, is all in survival mode, because part of us, we're the primal hardwired part of us is an animal instinct. So we, in the animal instinct, we sort of like need to be in a tribe, because if one animal leaves the tribe, there's a fear of death, being eaten up by a predator. But that's still in us, hardwired, because we've got that animal instinct in us, in our brain stem. So that part of us still functioning, that tends to function more when we're disconnected from our true selves, when we haven't connected to our higher consciousness, our God self. So when we're not connected, then the primal fear comes in. So the fear of being alone, fear of being rejected, fear of being abandoned, all these fears stems to the anxiety and the mental stress we have, that if I'm left alone, I will die. So the death is the hardwired fear that's running as a program.
And fear, you know, it's like when you drive a car, you don't put the fear into the steering wheel, do you? Otherwise you won't be driving. It's the same with life. You know, let the fear take the back seat, and just connect with who you are. Get on with life. Like you said, just kalle aaya, kalle ne jana aaya. Ete raste bech bichale de aa. And you know, not too much attachment, because attachment is what kind of makes you feel lonely when the others are not there, or you miss them so much, which we do miss people. It's normal, and tika, but we've got to learn to be, you know, connected to who we are, and then not be disturbed by whatever's going on, you know, outside.
And also get used to enjoying your own company.
Exactly.
You know, if I know my children are going away and the house is empty, I'm like, oh my God, what can I do? I can sit and read a book, I can watch a program, I can have a long bath. So there's loads
like
of
a
things.
Kid and a playground.
Take yourself out.
Go
watch a film, go shopping.
And it's all about enjoying your own company. You know, having a nice cup of tea, a piece of cake, or whatever you enjoy.
Whatever you want
Don't make everything about other people.
No, light a few candles, start cooking, or watch a film, and just relax, spoil yourself, because that is what self-care is. And then that has a great impact on your mental health.
And I mean, going back to the whole loneliness thing with mental health awareness, you know, sometimes you can be in a room of people, but you know what, you don't feel connected to anybody. They're not asking you if you're okay, and it's all sort of superficial. So it's important to find people that you really can connect with. Now I think as you get older, it becomes harder, or it can become harder.
Absolutely.
But you know, साडी relationship ਹੁੰਦਾ है ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾਈਏ ਜਾਂ family function, ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. We can still go to college, we can, you know, join a community.
Always improve, can't you?
You know, like when I go to the gym, there's some people who are really 70, 80, 90 who love the yoga classes.
That's right. And, they probably, and those people won't be gossiping.
Well, they won't be getting bored, they won't be getting lonely because they're evolving and they keep doing stuff to make themselves better.
And they're connecting with people, so they're talking with somebody. They've got somewhere to go. So loneliness is we have the power to make our circumstances different all the time.
And loneliness, it kind of, you know, it just takes your confidence away, doesn't it? Because
slowly
then you don't have the confidence to interact or go to other events or meet people. So it has a massive impact. And, you know, if you do see somebody who is a bit lonely and we actually become the reason why they feel valuable, they feel happy, they feel special. We welcome them. And sometimes people think, oh my God, I'm so glad I went. So je tusi kalle haan, lonely haan, honestly, you know, don't feel alone. If you still want to go and, you know, join, like say go to the Gurdwara, join a gym, do yoga, keep doing that and you'll get better.
And I mean, there is a stigma attached to loneliness, because appa kende nahi, appa upar kende main, if somebody says to tusi theek hai, haan main theek hai, tusi theek hai, haan main theek hai, but sometimes we're really, really lonely, and it's important that we tell people, pata ki mera man nahi lagda, main kalli haan 7-8 घंटे mainu pata nahi lagda, so we can help each other. So maybe join an activity together.
But I find people too active want to be at every little function. Those people tend to be in the lonely place, in this lonely state, because they're afraid of being alone. So they're constantly attending every little thing because they're afraid of being alone.
But it's about a balance, isn't it?
It is about balance. And like said, you know, some people, once you start going to the gym and you don't think about anything, you don't think about because when you're exercising, you release good hormones, right? And you don't think about anything but that present moment. So that's a great start, because for me, that's what if I ever get a bit low, or you know, I feel a bit like anxious, I get off to the gym. And you come back with a high vibe.
I always find people that who really struggle with the stress of loneliness, just try and do some meditation. Through that meditation, when you start connecting with yourself, you realize there's no such thing as separation. Because we have forgotten that we are all interconnected. There's no such thing as loneliness in our true essence, that we're all one. And we've forgotten this oneness, then we experience loneliness. So there's no such separation, it's just an illusion. And we somehow think that we're separate from each other, but we're all one consciousness.
And talking about mental health is a good thing, right? Because our community, sometimes there's still a bit of stigma, taboo attached, and we say gal nahi karni kise na. It is good to talk, and jida tusi kya sikhde ho, jada aapa puchde kise nu tusi theek hai, ta aapa keh ke inna ke tur pende ha, we don't even wait for them to answer sometimes. You know, they just say theek, and we're just doing our politeness, but really open up and talk, because you know, our communities are changing and they are breaking the stigmas with them. And you know,
when we were driving up, what did you notice? That car, the funeral?
You know,
it's an experience.
It's just an experience we'll share. There was we just turned the corner. Well, we went over a roundabout, didn't we? We went straight. There was a car, a funeral car, and then there was another car in the middle, and then there was our car, and the reg on the middle car was P90, and then it was love. So you know, so even that we looked at that positively, because thinking, oh look, someone's passed away, it's sad, wonder how the family's feeling. Then that car in the middle,
it had the registration love. So what the message was there, that even though we think that the person, the loved one's gone, and you might feel the sense of loss and loneliness, but love still follows, because love, the car behind it was the car of love, and the message was that love, there's no end to love, there's no, if once you connect with love, you never ever feel lonely, and the love with yourself, you're loving that God state in you, there's no such thing as loneliness. Actually, loneliness is the part that you actually feel the fulfillment. From loneliness you feel fulfilled.
Absolutely. That's just a message. And you know, when somebody is like feeling a bit anxious anxious or feeling, you know, not in a good place, we need to, I think, stop saying things like, you don't look depressed. If somebody's talking to you and saying, I feel a bit depressed, listen to them. Don't say, you don't look depressed. Just let them hear them. Because again, we're judging, aren't we? Because somebody may have taken them so much effort to look the way they're looking and talking to you. And then if we say, oh, you don't look depressed, or be happy, you have everything, and then stop overthinking and I think we
just want to
one,
fix the person.
We want to fix the person, but then so we kind of
We've got to take the conversation away from all of that altogether when you're dealing with someone like that. So really talk about something that's more uplifting. So I won't even say you don't look depressed. I'll say, actually, I just admire your courage. Just use those sort of language.
Be careful of the language that you use, and we need to dismantle the stigma, don't we, of mental health.
And also, if even saying the word depressed, you know, even by saying that I'm depressed, you're actually putting yourself in a very negative space. I mean, sometimes it can be okay just to say, you know what, I'm just not feeling myself. But when you say you're depressed, that just makes it sound so much serious, so much more serious. And sometimes it can just be you're feeling a little bit low, and it's okay to feel low. You know, we all have moments when we feel a bit down, but it's all right just to sit with yourself and think, well, actually, you know, maybe I could go for a walk, go and visit some friends, go and do some exercise. There's so much that we can change that state within ourselves, rather than just kind of
12 years ago, I thought I experienced a moment of depression, and obviously everybody experienced it differently. For me, I took it as a moment for me to surrender and use that weeks. It was 6 to 7 weeks. I felt it was really in the deep end of it. But I used it as a moment to deep rest, where I felt I need to go in a hermit mode and disconnect myself from everyone and everything, and just connect with myself. Obviously, it's a scary place to be in, but usually they say you find the freedom into that part of your life where you're always avoiding. So actually, in that darkness place, we call that dark night of the soul, but that's where I found my light. Do you understand? That's where I shone the most.
And it's life, isn't it? You are going to get highs and lows. It's not going to be in a straight line.
But there's always a lesson. It's going to be like this. There's a lesson in every stage. And if I hadn't slowed down, if I didn't go into that deep rest, I wouldn't have got the awareness and the inspiration to what I'm supposed to do the next chapter of my life.
And look how grounded you are. Look how grounded you are. And even, you know, at the end of the day, you're human. You too get that. So somebody who hasn't done the inner work, it's twice as hard.
And it's important, like you've just said, you know, you're in a position where you consciously kind of, even though you went into that deep rest, a lot of people don't recognise what's happening.
And I wasn't aware of this stuff then. All I just knew that I just didn't have the energy to even get out my room or go for a walk. But that the body was trying to say to me, it was completely trying to say, you have to completely shut down. And it's like I had to fall apart completely so I could rebuild myself. I couldn't rebuild myself unless I fall apart. And that time I didn't have this awareness, but the awareness comes after the depression.
But where, you know, our viewers may have feel, you know, really low, really depressed, and they might be thinking really, really negative thoughts, it's really important to go out and get some help. Talk to somebody, go to your GP. You know, if you're having really, really dark thoughts where you're thinking of hurting yourself or maybe somebody else, it's really important that there's so much help out there, support for people who've got depression, whether it's medication, whether it's meditation, or, you know, doing some kind of inner work, reading about what it is that you feel. The NHS website is amazing. It's got everything on there, but there was, you know, Samaritans is brilliant.
Because that's a complete stranger listening to you, which is really good, isn't it? Because look how much support you get from the Samaritans, and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ share ਕਰ ਲਈ ਆ ਉਹ ਅੱਧਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਦੁੱਖ, right? And with a complete stranger who's not going to judge you, they don't know you, they're just there to listen.
That's really good.
And I think sometimes it's because we're wearing a mask that we don't actually resonate with. You know, this isn't who we are, and we're trying to be our real self, and by, like you've just said, you have to fall apart to then become the person that you're really meant to be.
And what's falling apart is all the different masks we've been wearing and the roles we were playing, and they weren't authentic, they weren't me. I was just playing out different roles that other people
wanted you to do.
Wanted me to do. So I had to break and fall apart. But like I said, it's the most empowering experience, but the most scariest one as well. But then I found my strength in my scariest moment.
And that's a rebirth for you, isn't it? Because it's like, you know, you get the triggers, you've got to feel them, you've got to experience them, you've got to go through them and acknowledge them. But then to come out, it's like you're getting closer to who you're supposed to be.
It's like a baby in the womb. It's in that darkness, and it's there. It's never going to end. It's like it's going to be like this forever, and then it's going through that dark through the canal, the birth canal. But there is a light at the end.
And this is why those people that have been through adversities of life, them sharing, you know, their story, it's healing the other person, because at the time you feel everybody else is fine. But this is where loneliness, if somebody's feeling lonely and then somebody says, I feel like that too, there you go, they've already had the bit of healing.
And this is where, you know, the stigma of talking, where gossip's concerned, and it kind of links both. Talking about something, about how you're feeling, is also going to help you as well as help somebody else. And you know, it's really important to be brave and be who you are. If someone's inviting you somewhere and you don't feel, you know, good enough, or you don't want to go because of, you know, your body image or your clothes or this or that, then honour yourself and say, you know what, I just can't come.
Just do what's right for you, because at the end of the day, only you know you. People are inviting you, or the others are saying go, but if it doesn't sit well with you, it's not for you, it's all right.
But, you know, get the help. If you know that you're not feeling yourself, it's really important to get the help, because, you know, there are going to be moments where you're going to feel like this, and if you don't understand what's happening to you, you can very quickly go to a place of, you know, really harming yourself or others, and that's what's really, really important.
And this is where our next generation, they're quite strong-minded, I think, even when it comes to gossip or mental health. I think they share quite easily, and they're quite vulnerable. The youngsters that I've come across, I find them easier to talk to. I think, and I suppose the kahani different,
But I mean, because of me working in a school, and I think because of the way we are, our children are naturally going to be talkers, and, you know,
because we get them talking,
because we talk ourselves. But there are people out there who maybe work 8 or 10 hours, they don't engage with their children, and they don't have time to, you know, support them and encourage them and things like that. And that same child is going to be completely different to your child. So it's very, very different.
It could happen to anyone. It could be a celebrity. You know, you just got to be okay with it. You know, that it's not working against you, it's working for you. There's something in here where we need to go deeper inside and, you know, explore what is there that's not serving me. So it will happen to anyone. It will happen to that person at the right time when they're ready to evolve. So you just got to be okay with it.
And that's about being alone and recognizing what is it that I'm feeling and thinking. But most of the time we're all on autopilot. We're going from one situation to the next and that's when we're not comfortable being on our own. But if we embrace it and think, you know what, I actually want to get to know who I am.
And workplaces nowadays are great as well. There's so much on mental health. I mean, you know, when you work for a large organisation, there's help and there's people like mentors you can talk to. So, you know, what help is available. If you do struggle or you feel you can't cope or you don't want to go into work, there is help now. It's so much easier, honestly, than it used to be, because people were not allowed to even mention it, or they didn't even know what it was.
And also, if you are in an organisation where you work and somebody's new, you know, be kind and invite them and get them to, because that's what helps, you know, for somebody to feel included and not to feel alone. Because it's all very easy just to kind of get on with your own work, but that person who feels that, you know,
it's
oh my God, I'm never
isn't it? It's if you can recognise the signs. But the organisations are honestly brilliant nowadays, and there's so much help. They have mentoring services available, and they have counselling sessions. So there is a lot more help out there. The other thing I'm going to just touch on, because I keep seeing this, is secret spenders. Are any of you two lovely ladies secret spenders? You know, I always have a little question.
Oh yeah, you love throwing in a curveball.
She did it again.
I only wrote that this morning. You know, secret spenders. It's like, obviously at the moment with everything high and low, people's anxieties, and you know, some people just like to go to the shops on their own and buy stuff, and sometimes this stuff it's so easy to buy because of credit, you know. Otherwise,
I know you are.
But I don't buy on credit. I only buy this is what I wanted to share. I only buy when I ask the question, can I buy this cash right now? Or I really want this today, but I'm not going to buy it today. I'm going to go home, have a think for a day or so, and you usually don't want it then. It depends what the thing is. If it's B bondage, it's different. But if it's in the thousands, I will go home. I will go home and think, do I really need it?
Well, I would expect you to
do I really need it that desperately?
Thousands.
But you know, with the credit cards, and you can get things on credit, finance, it's so easy for somebody who really, really think, oh, I really want this right now. My advice is, please don't buy it just then. Just go home, have a think about it, sleep on it.
Yeah.
When you work in sales, I know what it's like. You know, strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
So the thing is saying, buy me, and obviously the shop is there to get you as well.
Yeah.
But tu siap na soch samchkilio, and especially at the moment, you know, if you don't really need it, you can wait.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? Go on.
I was just going to say, first of all, I never buy anything in the thousands, so that's like me putting my hand up. I think, but if you're in that position and you really want something and you deserve it, and you know,
if your jib says you can do it,
and if it's like a special function, you know, and it, like a wedding or something, and you want to look glamorous, and you know, you're mother of the bride or somebody close, then fine, do it. But at other times, yes, definitely think about what you're doing. But and also think about, well, why am I doing it? Am I actually going to wear this?
Do I need it?
Yeah, do I need it? Do I want it? But because my little thing is, I'll buy stuff all the time because I love shopping. And like most people,
are all like
bit of retail therapy. But then I'll put it in the wardrobe. I won't show anyone, and I'll just come out and wear it. And then my husband will be going, oh, I haven't seen that before. And I'm like, oh,
I got it ages ago.
That's an old top, that is. But so it just depends.
Yeah, and sometimes you do need to buy a little thing to just give you that
treat yourself,
and that lift, right? Nothing wrong with that. But you know how it can become a habit of becoming a secret spender. It's an addiction, isn't it?
That is. It can be quite a detrimental addiction, because we are depending on something outside of us to make us feel good, because we're empty inside. So that is not a good thing, really.
I have a friend, like 12, 13 years ago, she racked up massive bills, couldn't stop.
I know someone
couldn't
like
stop,
that as well.
couldn't stop. I got to a stage where she said, could I please get the letter sent to your house, because I'm really scared my husband will kill me. So I said, why have you done that? Luckily I was managed to support her. But you know, it can get to that.
But I think there's some kind of trauma there. I think some serious trauma.
Usually a form of disconnection where we feel not loved or whatever. So we look for things outside of us just to make us experience of, you know, temporary love. It could be food, could be with clothes.
It could be with anything.
It could be some kind of abuse as well.
You know, so I mean, I tend to just like, I go with my feelings, to be honest. I'm just a very sort of person with feeling and energy, tells me what I should have, what I shouldn't have. So if something feels good to me and I can feel it's calling to me, but I instantly feel like that buzz in me, then I know it's meant to be mine. But if I'm feeling like that and my sacral's not, then I know I don't need to buy it. So it helps me to make a decision there and then.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing with me is everything's calling me.
Everything's calling me. Big things are calling me. That's something, and I'll go home. If I still feel the same, and often for big things.
It's my top calling you.
Often for the big things we think, oh, you know what, I really don't need it. And it's just amazing how much difference like 24 hours can do. It's like we working in sales, we try to get the deal signed and sealed on that call. So we're used to that, you know, getting people to say yes. So then that's what I wanted to just share my little tip. You know, the next day it goes a bit cold, and then they think, do I really want it? You get time to think about it. Do I need it? And usually you don't need it. So
you know what's so funny is like if I'm going to a wedding or something, we'd like to wear the matching jewellery or something.
And the children, we match the children.
And the husband's tie.
With the bag and the tie.
And matching. And then I always say to Amma, no, I don't know, I need a set with this. And Amma, she knows, she goes, Mum, you got everything. And I said, I don't know, but I haven't got this one. I go home for a few days, said, oh my God, Amma, look, it matches exactly. She goes, Mum, I told you.
See, this bit will now go nicely into something I thought about a little while ago. You know, we've got a daughter. Do you find, like with a daughter, you stay younger for longer, and you know, like fashion more, whereas women that have just got sons, you know, they tend to, I feel sorry for them sometimes, because I think they've just got sons and their fashion sense, because obviously I get a lot of tips and hints from my girls, and then like when you become a mother-in-law and you've not had a daughter, you must struggle to an extent to kind of become that mother-in-law, that friend, because you've never had a daughter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think...
Because we have got a son and a daughter, so
I think we're very, very lucky, so we can make the comparison.
Because I think that if my girls, you know, they tell me, Mum, wear this, don't wear that, or do this. Girls are very like, they keep you young and they keep you grounded.
I know what you're saying, but I think with me and my daughter in particular, we just don't have that. She kind of wears what she... I mean, there's a time when I would buy stuff for her, but not anymore. So we kind of just... We accept that we're both very different. So she won't really say anything unless I look totally ridiculous. And then she say, Mum, get that off. What are you doing? What do you look like? But otherwise, most of the time, it's just kind of
my youngest one is like very like attention to detail. Mum, wear this. Mum, wear that with that. And sometimes you think,
nice.
It's lovely. You know, you just think, otherwise, God, I don't know, I would just be me. But they, Mum, wear this, wear that, and it's lovely that they care and they reach out.
I think it's because my daughter's different. She's married and stuff like that.
Last night I was trying to sort out the sari I went for the weekend. So trying it on with Aman, and she trying to help me with the blouse, and then it was really nice because it does help. And she goes, and I was going through the jewelry, she goes, Mum, this is the one. This goes with it. And I was like, oh, it does, doesn't it? So it does help having that relationship
and
with the
their young outlook, you know, on fashion, accessories, 100%. Makes a big difference. And we'll finish with the energy of your home. So how do we, you know, obviously, like, you know, to keep your home, I think, like, in the morning, like, you know, to keep the vibe charged or fully high. Like, when we go out, we don't take our phone uncharged, do we, with us? So when we're all like getting up in the morning, it's nice to have the part on, as to having the news on or something, you know, on the TV that isn't right, you know, got a high vibe. So to keep the vibe, you know, to start the day with a high energy, and always like to end the day with a something high energy as well, because these energies, whatever we start the day with, they tend to continue and play out for you throughout the day, and then at night time, whatever you kind of watching or listen to, you sleep with that, don't you? So I just wanted to hear what you do.
Energy, I mean, around the house is very important, but like you said, it's what's within us. So usually you can tell yours, you know, what your mind is like from the layout of your house. So that clearly tells you, you know, what kind of person you are. So I always, I mean, I know a friend that her house is so cluttered. What are you thinking the other day? And she's so scattered everywhere. And she's always sort of like decision-making conflict. She always has, kuch nahi pata like that. And it does have an impact on the outer and the inner. So I mean, I like things very simple and minimal and
a lot of space around.
And at the moment doing my bedroom again, it's like, I feel like over the years since I've changing, we're always changing, all of us evolving, and I realise the energy, I feel it needs to change in the room because I've changed, and and everything colours is energy as well. So the colours I've in the room, it's matching the colours that I feel going with the chakras in me. So I feel like the change needs to come in my room now because I feel it needs to be in alignment.
Because if the way, like you said, the way your house is, it has a big impact on you. So going from room to room, and there's clutter in every room, you don't know where to start. So decluttering is a start.
It's funny, people have interesting behavioural patterns. So like some people things have to be in a certain place, and if somebody moves it, it will bother them. So that's another interesting thing I've noticed, because
like that.
but you find that those people always tend to be the ones that always like things don't go their way.
And
they all get triggered.
Control, though, I think.
It's about control, that if things are not put in the right place, it will bother them. So that also tells you a lot about a person's character and mindset. And it, you know, and but I've also sort of like become more relaxed, because years and years ago I used to get paranoid if I saw dust and things weren't clean enough. And that was something in me saying that I had something in me, what was reflecting me, that something in me feels dirty inside. So what's in me that's feeling filthy and dirty? So I felt like the outside had to be clean. And this is where the OCD stuff and all that comes into, isn't it? So, but then more I started working and do my inner work and cleaning. And the dirty was something that maybe I had a thought where I didn't love myself enough, where I didn't acknowledge myself, I didn't respect myself enough. So more I was working on that. Now if I do see anything, I don't notice it. I won't notice a dust, I won't notice that things gone out of place. It still feels okay.
And I think it's just the way our parents have brought us up about, you know, if your house is clean and, you know, so you kind of like just absorb that, and you feel like you have to do it, so you don't feel like you can relax.
You just get used to it, and you just kind of try to keep on top of everything, don't you?
And it never ever finishes.
No, it doesn't.
So there comes a point where you think, you know what, I have to relax. I have to ignore what's going on outside in my house, and if there's a bit of a mess here and there, I need to just it'll just
let it go, and just
because you know the work is never going to finish. The clothes are never going to stop piling up.
Absolutely.
Dishes, this and this.
It's okay with the imperfections.
Exactly.
If you love your own imperfections and then the outer imperfections, you love them too. And actually you think, I actually like this being binga-dinga, whatever.
And it's okay. And it's like, you know, it's a home, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that's the most important
thing. It's lived in. And कल्ला भी बंदा रवा होवे उन्हें काम पैंदा चार जने रहंदे ज़्यादा काम पैंदा. So time doesn't wait for anybody. So we'll finish off on any tips for mental health.
For me, the biggest thing for mental health is don't watch the news. You know, stay away from the news. Maybe watch it once a week or something, because I feel like the news is always negative, and if you're always watching that, you're absorbing it, and you're always going to think the world is a negative, horrible, nasty place, and it really, really isn't. So that's my tip: stay away from the news.
I just think laughter is the medicine, the best medicine to anything. You know, whatever you can, do anything, watch anything that makes you laugh, hang around with friends that uplift you and make you laugh, be silly. We love being silly. Just spend time with us, and go your problem home and mental stress, it will go, because we just have a good laugh. And if it's a good problem, then we actually see the humour in it.
Yes, and we support each other so much. The problem, you think, get a problem, and then we forget. And you know, stay active, stay active, and that uplifts your mood, and that kind of the chemicals in your brain, you know, that they change. So we're almost out of time, and we'll be back very soon with another episode of your Saheli Chat Show. So join us again. Jai Gurudev.